So this session is related to thin converging lens. The learning objective, you should be able to describe what will happen to the light when it is passing through a converging lens. Then you should be able to use the term focus, focal length, and then the last part, you should be able to draw the diagram to show how the real image is formed and how the virtual image can be formed, and understand the difference between the real and the virtual images. So first, a thin converging lens. What is a thin converging lens? Basically, a lens which is thicker at the center and thinner near the edges, as you can see here on the screen. This lens is thicker at the center and it is thinner near the edges. So what we call this lens, we call that as a convex lens. There are two types of lenses. One is called convex lens. Convex lens, the lens which is thicker at the center and thinner near the edges. And there is also another lens which is known as concave lens, and it is opposite of convex lens. Concave lens is thinner at the center and it is thicker near the edges. So you should be able to draw how the image can be formed by a convex lens. So to draw an image formed by a convex lens, there are certain definitions, certain terms which you should understand. For example, if this is a convex lens is a lens which is thicker at the center and it is thinner near the edges. So this is a convex lens. Then this convex lens, there is imaginary line. In reality, it's not there. This is just our imagination. So there is imaginary line which we assume it is passing through the center. The imaginary line which is passing through the center, that imaginary line is known as principal axis. So this is axis means line and principal means base. So you can say baseline or principal line. That the imaginary line which is passing through the center of the lens is known as principal axis. The center of the lens, this point, which is the center of the lens, this point is known as optical center. So center of the lens is refers to optical center. Then convex lens are also known as converging lens. So why the convex lens are known as the converging lens? Because when the parallel light rays are there, when the light rays which are passing parallel from one side of a convex lens, when they passes through the lens, what we'll see or what we will observe. So when these light rays are passing through the lens, they converge at one point, they combine at one point. So the point where these all the light rays combine or converge, what we call this point is known as focus. Principal focus, or you can also say focus. And the distance between the center of the lens and the focus, this distance, what we call this distance, this is known as focal length. So whenever you have a convex lens, you should be able to identify these points. The imaginary line which is passing through the center of the lens is called principal axis. The center of the lens is known as optical center. The point where all the light rays converge, we call that as a focus, and we can represent this focus by F. And the distance between the center of the lens and the focus, that is known as focal length, we can represent by F. And we can also define another point which we call 2F. What is the meaning of 2F? 2f means double of focus. Like example, if we have focus 10 centimeter, then what will be 2f? 2f will be 20 centimeter. So the double of the focus is called 2f. So if focus is 10 centimeter, the 2f will be 20. If focus is 20 centimeter, 2f will be 40 centimeter. So always the 2f is a point which is double of focus. So when you have a convex lens, you should be able to mark these points. What are the points? Number one, like we will have a lens, a convex lens, the imaginary line which is passing through the center of the lens. What we call this line? The imaginary line which is passing through the center, that is known as principal axis. The center of the lens, the center point of the lens, that is known as optical center. Then the point, the position where all the light rays converge, what we call that? We call that as focus. And there will be double of the focus, which we call twice of focus, or we can also say 2f. And same thing, if focus is on the right hand side, there will be focus on the left hand side, because if the light rays are coming from the left hand side, from the right hand side, so they will converge on the left hand side. So if focus is on the right hand side, same distance focus will be there on the left hand side, and then double will be 2f. So this is always the case whenever you're drawing a lens. They will mention in exam, they will mention the focus, so you should always label these 5 points. What are the 5 points you should label? The optical center, the center of the lens, the focus and 2f on the right hand side, and f and 2f on the left hand side. The distance between the focus point and the optical center, the center of the lens, what we call that as focal length. Is it clear? The points, the labels for a convex lens. Then the second part which you have to learn is a ray diagram. The rays which are passing through a convex lens. So the rays which are passing through the convex lens, so before to draw the ray, you should always label those points. Like example, if I say a focal length is 5 centimeters, so first you will draw a horizontal line from the center of the lens, and from center of the lens you will mark the point 5 centimeter, that is focus, and then 10 centimeter will be 2f. Same thing, 5 centimeter will be focus and 10 centimeter will be 2f. So first kind of ray which can pass through a convex lens, example, if the ray of the light is, if ray is parallel to the principal axis, so if ray of the light is parallel to principal axis, what we will observe? Example, these are the rays which are parallel to principal axis, any kind, but they are all parallel to principal axis. So what we will observe, if the ray of the light is parallel to principal axis, we'll observe it will pass through the focus. So, or it will converge at focus. So all the light rays will focus at one point or converge at one point, which we call that as focus. So this is the first ray diagram. Whenever you have the parallel light rays, what you will observe, you'll observe that these light rays will always pass through or they will converge to focus. Is it clear, the first part? Then the second ray diagram, if a ray is passing through the center of the lens, so if ray of the light is passing through the center of the lens, so example, this is a lens, a convex lens is there, imaginary line which is passing through the center of the lens, that is known as the principal axis. The center of the lens is optical center, then there will be one point focus and then 2f. And same way on the left hand side it will be f and 2f. So if the ray of the light is passing through the center of the lens, what we will observe, like if any ray is passing here or it is passing same as principal axis or it is passing, so what is the observation, what we will see, it will continue its direction. So it won't change the direction, it will continue its direction or it will continue to move in the same direction. So if it is passing through the center, if the ray of the light is there which is passing through the center, so it will pass straight, it won't deviate. So the first one was, what was the first case? It was parallel. If ray of the light is parallel to principal axis, it will converge at focus. The second one, if ray of the light is passing through the center of the lens, it will pass straight. It will continue its direction. It won't change the direction. It will pass straight. Why we are studying these ray diagrams? What is the reason for that? Because using these ray diagrams, you will be able to draw the image formed by a convex lens. And the third, the last one, if the ray is passing through the focus, so if ray of the light is there and it is passing through the focus, so imaginary line which is passing through the center of the lens, that imaginary line is known as principal axis. This is the center of the lens. So this will be f, 2f and f, 2f. So if ray of the light is passing through the focus, like example, there is a ray and that is passing through the focus. So what we will observe, if ray of a light is passing through the focus, it will go parallel to the principal axis. So when the ray of a light is there which is passing through the focus, so what will happen? It will go parallel to the principal axis. So three rays are there, three ways the ray can pass. Number one, if it is parallel, it will converge at one point, focus. If it is passing through the center of the lens, it will pass straight. And third one, if a ray is passing through the focus, it will go parallel. So three ways the ray can pass, or a ray of a light can pass through a convex lens. Now, why it is important to know these things? You will use this to show how image is formed by a convex lens. So that this is a very important topic in exam. You will find a question related to this, like 3 mark or a 4 mark question sometime, to draw an image formed by a convex lens. So for this part, because it is related to drawing, I want everyone to draw with me. Like when you draw at the same time, you will understand from the figure. The first case was ray of the light is parallel to principal axis. Like the rays are going parallel. As you can see, these red lines are parallel to principal axis. So what we'll observe, if they are parallel to principal axis, they will converge at one point, and we call that point as focus. And if ray of the light is passing through the focus, so what we'll observe, it will go parallel. So it is the same thing, only the direction is opposite. If it is passing through the focus, it will go parallel. But if it is parallel to the principal axis, it will converge at one point, and we call that as focus. Is it clear, the first case? Now we will use these ray diagrams to draw an image formed by a convex lens. So for this one, to draw an image formed by a convex lens, I want everyone to follow the steps. Like you should have beside you, you should have a ruler and a pencil, and you will draw at the same time. The way I am drawing, you will also draw at the same time. So example, this main topic is draw image formed by the convex lens. The first case, if I say an object is placed 5 centimeter from convex lens of focal length 2 centimeter. So the focal length is 2 centimeter and the object is placed 5 centimeter. Now I want everyone to draw with me, like at the same time you should draw, so you will understand this question easily. The object is placed 5 centimeter. Now first what we do, we'll draw a horizontal line. So everyone should draw a horizontal line and use thin lines as possible, so it will be more accurate. So first everyone should draw a horizontal line on your notebook or on your register or a page. You will draw a horizontal line of any length. First draw the horizontal line and mark a point, that is the position of the lens. Mark a point, that is the position of the lens. Once you finish, just let me know in the chat that you have completed, so I'll move on to the next part. Draw a horizontal line and mark a point for the lens. So focal length, or f, is 2 centimeter. So from the position where you mark the position of the lens, measure using a ruler or the scale, measure the distance and mark a point f, which is 2 centimeter. Like from the point where the lens is there, you mark to the position of 2 centimeter to a point 2 centimeter, mark, and that is the focal length, or you mark as F. The starting point where you mark the position of the lens, measure 2 centimeter and mark F. Done? Then further measure, because double of 2 centimeter, that is 4 centimeter. So measure 4 centimeter length and mark a point at 4 centimeter, that is 2F. Because if F is 2 centimeter, 2F will be 4 centimeter. So measure 4 centimeter from the point, the position where you mark the point. Initially we mark the position of the lens, and that is known as 2F, or double of focus. Then do this the other side as well. Like this is F and 2F, we mark on the left hand side, and same thing F and 2F we will mark on, we mark on the right hand side F and 2F. Now we'll mark on the left hand side F and 2F. So measure 2 centimeter on the left hand side and mark a position F. And then measure 4 centimeter and mark a point 2F. So mark the point F and 2F. F is 2 centimeter and 2F is 4 centimeter. Right hand side as well as on the left hand side. But no need to show these arrows I draw to make you understand, but you don't have to show these arrows. So what your figure should appear like, it should appear like this, that on the right hand side there is focus F and 2F. On the right hand side, same way, there is F and 2F on the left hand side. Is it clear till this point? Now the object is placed in the question. They mentioned an object is placed 5 centimeter, but they did not mention the object is on the right hand side or left hand side. So if they did not mention, it's up to you. From the position of the lens, center of the lens, measure 5 centimeter. Either, it's up to you. You can measure from to right hand side, or you can measure from left hand side. So measure 5 centimeter and draw an object. How we draw an object? Normally, so the object is there, which is placed 5 centimeter. So we'll place an object from the position of the, where we mark a position of a lens. We place an object which is 5 centimeter. So right and left hand side, for example. And how we represent an arrow object? We represent an object by an arrow. So measure 5 centimeter either from right or left hand side and draw an object. And object we normally label as O. Is it clear till this point? For the lens, the position of the lens, you will draw a dotted line. This is the position of the lens. Later we'll complete this lens, but draw a dotted line, and always remember the size of the object should be smaller than the size of the lens. Like some student, they make a mistake, they draw a shorter lens, but it should be a longer one. So this is the position of the lens. Here is an object. Everyone completed till this point? So this is a lens, here's an object. Now how we draw an image, we have to take the two rays from the object. We have to take the two rays from the object. Like example, this is the first ray. The first ray is parallel. First draw a parallel ray from the top of the object, from tip of the object. Draw a light ray, ray 1, we can say, parallel to principal axis. So if it is parallel to principal axis, from where it should pass? If a ray of the light is parallel, so from which point it should pass? It should pass through focus. So what you will do? You will draw a parallel light ray. Look till this point. Till the lens you will draw a parallel light ray, and when if it's a parallel light ray, from where it will pass through focus. Is it clear? Till this point? So first draw ray 1, which is parallel to the principal axis. From where it will pass? It will pass through focus. Then draw the ray 2. So for ray 2, from tip of the object, draw ray 2 to the center of the lens, and whenever ray is passing through the center of the lens, it will pass straight. So when ray is passing through the center of the lens, whenever ray is passing, what we'll observe? We'll observe it will pass through center of the lens. And the point where these two light rays converge, the position where these two light rays intersect or converge, what we call, this is a position of the image. So mark this point and draw an image. But because the rays were starting from tip of object, so how the image tip will appear? It will appear upside down, like it will be inverted or upside down. If object is like letter A, then how the image will appear? Inverted. So draw the second light ray, ray 2, from the center of the lens. When it is passing through the center of the lens, it will pass straight. So first one, pass parallel, it will pass through the focus. Not really, it is not necessary. You will find a point where it will intersect. So that where the two light rays intersect, like example, first a parallel light ray, it passes through the focus. Then second ray, the length should not be 2f, you can continue this. Like I can extend this line. I can extend this line. That does not make difference. But what is the position of the image? The position of the image is the one where the two light rays will intersect or meet. So when the two light rays will intersect or meet by themselves, what will happen, or what we observe? Will observe an image at that position. Is it clear till this point? So example, as you can see, like example, if to know the image formed by a convex lens, if object is after 2f, like this is a convex lens, and the last part we should be able to complete the figure, like we will make a lens. So the dotted line is representing a lens. So at the last only, this you don't have to do from the beginning. So at the last you can complete this lens. So this is a lens, parallel light ray passes through focus, one through the center will pass straight, and the two light rays will intersect, and that is the position where the image will form. So this is how the image is formed by a convex lens when the object is after 2f or beyond 2f. So as you can see here, the same example, if this is a lens, we have focus f and 2f, and object is placed after 2f. So first what happened? There is a parallel light ray. So if it's a parallel light ray, from where it passes, it will pass through the focus. Then the second light ray, again from the tip, will take from the tip of the object, but it is passing through the center of the lens, so it will pass straight. And this is a point where the two light rays will meet. The point where the two light rays will intersect or meet, that is the position where the image is formed. And we label the image by letter I. And what are the characteristics of this image? What are the features of this image? This image is real. Real image is the one which can be taken on seen on screen, or the image which is actually formed by intersection of the two light rays by themselves after refraction. So that's why the two light rays, when they are passing through the lens, they refract and combine together. That's why it is a real image. And when we compare the size here, the size of object and size of image, when we measure the height, you can clearly see that the image is smaller. So that's why this image is smaller than the object, and it is upside down, or we can also say inverted. Like if object is like this, a triangle, image will be a triangle but upside down. Like it will always be an inverted. Real images are always inverted in a convex lens. Is it clear, the first example? That how we complete an image formed by a convex lens? Then another example, like in exam they can change the position, they can give you different focal length, and they can give you different position of the object, but you should be able to identify the locate the position of image by using the ray diagram. Like another example, if I say an object is placed 4 centimeter from the lens and focal length is 2 centimeter. So an object is placed 4 centimeter from the lens and the focal length is 2 centimeter. So how we can draw an image? This is a principal axis. First you will draw a principal axis, then imaginary line. In reality it's not, this is imaginary line, principal axis. Then you will mark a position of the lens and draw a dotted line. That's the position of the lens. Now focal length is 2 centimeter. So using a ruler or the scale, I will measure 2 centimeter and I will mark F. Then I'll measure further 2 centimeter and I will mark 2F. So this will be 2 centimeter and focal length is always double. So if focus is 2 centimeter, focal length will be 4 centimeter. And same thing we will do on the other side, the 2 centimeter and 4 centimeter. So one will be 2 centimeter will be F and 4 centimeter will be 2F. Now object is placed 4 centimeters. So if object is placed 4 centimeter, it means the object is placed on the 2F. Whenever we want to draw an image, always consider two light rays. Number one, the parallel. So if it is parallel light ray, from where it will pass through? It will pass through the focus. The other one, the same point will take the ray, passing through the center of the lens, it will pass straight. So when it will pass straight, the point, the position where the two light rays will meet or intersect, that is the position where the image will form. So this is not done with a measurement, but it will always be correct if you are doing with measurement. So example here, image formed by a convex lens when object is at 2f. Like example, this is a lens and the object is at 2f. First, the parallel light ray, if the light ray is parallel, from where it will pass through the focus. One through the optical center, where it will pass straight. So the two light rays will intersect or combine at this point, and when the two light rays will intersect or combine, what we call that as image. And this image will be real, it will be same size, and it will be upside down. Like the size of image and size of object will be same. And it is always an inverted image. Like if object is a triangle, image will be a triangle but inverted triangle. And it is a real image. Real image can be seen or taken on screen. Is it clear? Yeah, position, that's right. The position will change, depend on the position of the object. Not about the length of object, but it depends on the position of object. The position of the image will change as the focal length changes or length of the object changes. Is it clear till this point? We'll do more examples. If two light rays meet, yeah, it can meet after 2f. That's not an issue. Like it can meet anywhere, even it can meet at 2f, before 2f, or after 2f. So we'll continue this topic. I'll share another link to show how image can